going to have some great conversation with some great men that we've personally, my first time meeting you, and I've met Asiume, who has become a brother and a friend. I call him the pilot friend. And I mean, over the period, a number of people have shown keen interest in flying, but they don't know how. They don't know where to start from. They don't know how to even have this conversation with the right person to talk to. And we are so delighted to have you here. We know you are pilots. First, introduce yourself to us, then we take from there.
Yeah, I'm Captain Jerome Jones. I started flying when I was 16, actually 15. I soloed when I was 16. Went off to the United States Air Force Academy, flew some there. Flew in the Air Force for 9.5 years. Then I joined a major airline and have been flying with them for about 33 years. So I've flown a wide variety of aircraft from 737, the Airbus 320, the Boeing 747-400, the Boeing 777, and the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. So that's pretty much it.
I mean, Asiume, tell us briefly about yourself.
Oh, Asiume Jakuma is my name. I started flying in fact, I got my pilot's license in 2002. Well, 201 for my pilot's license. Got my commercial in 202. Finished my training in 203. Came back to fly in Ghana. Started off at CTK. I was commissioned to start a flight school. Did a bit of instruction, did a bit of charter, and then I moved on to fly Amtrak. I flew Amtrak for over 2 years. Moved to Nigeria to fly MD-80s in Nigeria. Moved to Mali for another 2.5 years. Came back to Ghana to fly the ATR 72, and then I moved on to Indonesia. I was based in Bali, Indonesia for 2 years. After that, I proceeded to India for a year and then moved back to the US. Flew the regionals for a bit and then eventually got picked by a legacy where I've been flying now. I've flown the LEX 410, the ATR, the MD-80, 737, and now I'm on the 787 Dreamliner, doing mostly transatlantic flights.
That's quite a tall one. Jerome, how do you describe the skies in probably one sentence?
It's home.
The sky is home.
Yes. It's once you get in the air, it's actually a lot safer than driving. It's my home away from me.
People do say this a lot, that the sky is quite safer than the roads we have. I mean, how do you explain that to a child?
Well, you have a big sky. On roads, everyone's on particular roads. Now, we do have roads in the sky, but we have a lot of rules. And until really you get into the approach phase, going into an airport where a lot of aircraft are converging, you have to be really alert. And then during takeoffs, really
those are
alert.
the two most, critical points in flying.
Yeah. Well,
the landing that we would use loosely, landing and takeoff.
Yeah. Basically, anytime you're below about 10,000 feet, you really have to be aware, because there are lots of aircraft around you. But once you get up to cruise altitude, we have instruments on board that warn us when other aircraft are approaching us. And so we have clearances where air traffic control ensures that we're on a safe corridor and there's no conflicting aircraft. And then, of course, you look out your window and avoid traffic that way. But really, once you get up to cruise, once you get above 10,000 or 18,000 feet, flying is substantially safer than
Over,
driving.
over 30 years of flying, what would you say has been the most exciting moments for you, if you can share some two significant
Yeah,
experiences?
I would. You have moments. I remember my first solo when I was 16 years old. I mean, that was a really, really high moment. Even though I was in a little Cessna 152. My first jet solo was really, really amazing. I flew in support of Operations Desert Shield, Desert Storm. I flew cargo, supporting our men and women under arms. That was, exciting. And then you have other moments where one night flying from San Francisco to Sydney, as we were approaching the equator, you could see
Sydney in Australia, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Sydney, Australia. It's late at night, and about 10 to 15 degrees either side of the equator is something called the Intertropical Convergence Zone. It's like a permanent band of weather. And I looked out the window, and you could see lightning from horizon to horizon. Dangerous. We can avoid. We have weather radar to avoid it, but it was quite a sight, and I'll never forget it.
Were you jittery at that point? What really was the moment for you? Is this going to be some kind of emergency?
No, not an emergency. We just make certain everyone's seated. Flight attendants will put everything away, and then we use our weather radar to avoid the weather. But still, it's quite a sight to see as the clouds from horizon to horizon, and the lightning goes from cloud to cloud to cloud.
It's a different experience,
Yes.
most part, from what you taught in geography.
Okay.
The academic stuff and really experience it
Yes.
are two things apart. The lived experience, and this is, I can relate, where he's actually there and seeing it. For me, I say in what flying has given me is actually living it. You learn history about places and people, but the learned experience is always different from the lived experience. So someone says, "Oh, I know about this country," whilst they've never lived there, you can't really take what they say. The person who's lived it actually has experienced it and has gotten something that one who has even read so much about hasn't got. So the lived experience, that's what this profession gives. It gives you that
Yes.
lived.
He's about to retire very soon.
Yes.
You have some years ahead of you. What would you say you are anticipating in the years ahead?
Well, in the years ahead, this career is seen as so glamorous. People don't think you have any problems. Our profession as pilots, especially for folks like Jerome, who have lived it, have seen a lot of ups and downs. There are times that you go many months, many years without a paycheck. You are laid off, your jobs collapse. I've flown, as late as I started flying, at least 4 of the companies I've worked for are no more. They've shut down. And there are people who were in employment at the time when the companies shut down. So now, hopefully it's good, and we pray that it continues this way. But
What really would be the message to the youngsters who are looking up to, the likes of pilots? You want to be in the air someday, want to fly like Jerome, going on retirement very soon. What message are you leaving with the young ones?
If you look up into the sky and you have a feeling, an urgent, pressing feeling, that's where you want to be, then get into aviation. And that's the only reason, really, if you have a passion for it. Because, as Asu said, it's the industry can be quite rough. Economically, it's very economically sensitive. So, fortunately, I was never furloughed. I came close. So I was blessed not to be furloughed. But the average commercial airline pilot will spend some years on furlough. So the road may be much more challenging than you initially anticipate. So only go into it if you have a passion for it. And if you have a passion for it, no one can keep you away from it.
Let's trace your background a little bit. We just assume every black is African. So I see you with my brother. He's a Ghanaian.
Yes.
Can you tell us which part of the world are you from and how did you really get to where you are?
I live in Maryland now, which is on the east coast of the United States. I was born in a smaller, state of Missouri. My dad's been a career in the Marine Corps. So when he returned from his last tour in Vietnam, we moved to Southern California. And I lived in Los Angeles. And I lived there until I went off to college. So
you are strictly American.
yes.
Do you, by chance, trace your roots to any part of Africa?
My wife and I have done the DNA test, and as close as we can find somewhere, it's West Africa. But that's true of almost all African Americans. We came from West Africa.
We are brothers. It doesn't
Yes.
matter.
Yes.
We are one people, really.
Yes.
Let's talk about the near-to-death experience. Have you ever had any?
I really wouldn't say near death. Every pilot is going to have a moment that catches your breath, but that comes along maybe every 6 or 7 years. Just something happens that was anticipated. You're about to land, and at the last moment you see someone on the runway, so you go around. But really, since leaving the military, none.
No.
None. Commercial aviation is incredibly safe.
How many times are you going to fly before you go on retirement? And
One more trip.
I want to tie that into the fact that how does it feel like flying? We are told ABC, all black crew.
Yes.
How does it feel like?
Great, especially flying gentlemen like Asu. But it's extraordinarily rare because there are very, very few of us as a percentage of the total pilot population.
What are the opportunities within the space so slim for people of color? Or is it just the fact that those who have passion for it are just not there?
Well, it's a wide variety of things. I think the biggest factor is just exposure. I was exposed to aviation by my dad was a Marine Corps search and rescue crew chief, flying crew chief. He was a infantryman in the Korean War, and then between the wars he got into aviation maintenance, helicopter maintenance, then flying crewman in Vietnam. So I grew up around helicopters and military aviation bases, and so that was my exposure. So it's you want what you can see, and what you can see determines your horizon. So if you've never been exposed to jets or aviation, you've never met a pilot and gotten to know them, then it simply isn't within your realm of thinking possibility. So I take the big key is just exposure, early exposure, so that there's a saying, begin with the end in mind. I knew in elementary school that I wanted to be a pilot. But that was from my exposure to military aviation.
Assume, I mean, the last time you went viral was because you flew your parents, and that was some exciting moments for you. It went viral. The whole of Ghana were so excited to see such videos. I mean, the Hackans, if you are watching, this is your man. You always want me to acknowledge the fact that you are a Hakan. Yes. How does it feel like flying between the US and Ghana? Let me say, home, away from home.
It's a feeling I can't explain. It's, for me, it's the pinnacle of what I ever dreamt of, especially so. Being able to join a company that early on I knew was so competitive to get in. So getting in already, for me, I had gotten to my pinnacle. And then now, being able to do this and fly back to Ghana, especially on nothing but a Dreamliner, is the pinnacle of it all for me. I mean, for me, I'm living my dream. I'm living my dream. I'm one of those who can actually say, I'm living my dream. I'm living the dream.
Feel the passion. You have to have passion.
Oh, that's nice. But basically, I mean, if you have the chance to change anything in the world of aviation, what would that be for you?
Well, I've only been a pilot. I haven't been airport management or any of that. I'd just say expanding the early exposure to aviation for our young children. That's the key, and that takes organization, that takes capital. But I'm sure the same percentage of young black boys and girls who, when exposed to aviation at a young age, will have the same amount of passion as everyone else. But it's exposure, and then it's opportunity. It's building those ladders of opportunity. That's the key.
Assuming for you, what would you want to change within the aviation space? Well, like Jerome said, I agree. Investing more in exposing kids and letting them know it's possible. Because especially in this part of the world, we grew up thinking that this is far-fetched. It's so complex, you cannot reach it. And a lot of people also think that if you are not Caucasian, you cannot get into this industry. Unfortunately, even in this part of the world, you can't get in if you are not a Caucasian. But brothers are doing it, and I believe it's human beings that are in the industry, and so you can.
And that I agree, and that's why I said exposure.
Yes.
Actually, physically meeting someone.
Yes.
Because then you say, well, he's just like me. If he can do it, I can do it. Yeah. But if you never meet anyone like Asu, who's sharp, pilot, professional, he might as well be from Mars. So it's that direct, physical, and not just one-off, but getting to know a person. So their mannerisms, how they think, how they order their lives, how they build plans. We never take off without a flight plan. So we always have a plan before we take off, with alternates so that we can divert if the original plan doesn't work. And so even if you're not going to go into the profession as a pilot, It's an important lesson. Begin with the end in mind. Have a plan and have alternates.
Aviation, really, or flying hasn't been one of my things. I wanted to be a military person. Yes, I wanted to be a soldier. And that dream, after going for the enlistment and it didn't work, I abandoned the dream. But well, all too soon, we've come to the end of this conversation. Your final words.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience. Even though I'm going to retire soon, I will be back above Ghana and wider Africa. And
lastly, about Ghana, what do you like about Ghana? Coming into Ghana,
all the people.
food,
It's just that's why whenever I land, I just go walking. Go for an hour, 2-hour walk, and I see my extended family.
Excited
I
to
see someone who looks just like someone in my family, as it ought to be, because this is where I'm from. But build an aviation industry here in Africa and start with the basics, with early, frequent, widespread exposure of young people who are trying to figure out where are they going to go in life, what do they want to do, have air shows, flyers where pilots fly in with their airplane and let children just crawl around the airplane so they can see it's real, they can touch it, they can touch you.
In fact, there's a gentleman in the northern part of Ghana, in Tamale precisely, Ibrahim Mahama. He's an artist. He collects this obsolete or machines that are no longer in use, aircrafts, and he creates a museum for children to go have this experience. They go to the cockpit, they live their whole day at this particular center, and he's doing some great job.
That's great. That's a great start. But there's nothing like seeing, hearing, and smelling aviation. The smell of burning.
There's nothing like seeing,
hearing, and
feeling, and smelling aviation.
Yes. You whenever you go to an airport, you can smell the aviation fuel. Okay, and that just is part of the whole sensory package of aviation. Just like rolling down the runway, we've got 150,000 pounds of thrust propelling us forward. That's an incredible feeling. So, and you can't describe it. You have to experience it.
Exactly, you can't. For me, that is also the top of everything, especially rolling down the runway, like Jerome said. You are carrying this multi-million-dollar equipment together with the people at the back, and you think, hey, at this point, you could be focused. And that is where it flashes you. There's a very thin line between life and death. Because at that point, if you mess up, it's a big mess.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Hey.
My big brother, my father's brother. Thank you. Thank you so much.